Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on March 2nd, 2026. But don't worry if you find this reading much farther down the road. You clicked into it, there's a message here that your guides are trying to reveal. And I am actually going to start this reading off a little bit different. So if you are someone that normally jumps into the timestamp and gets started into the reading, I did kind of want to share what this reading is talking about today. So that way, everyone who gets a little bit confused in the direction I go, just understand my mind goes in many different directions. And I normally, when I'm channeling a reading, I'm emphasizing what the first card I had, or with my astro dice, I was doing like the collective energy that I was feeling, and then bringing any more information that I felt might assist the person that is here today. And so I'm going to try to make it more cohesive. Is that the word? Where things kind of like go in a much nicer flow. And I am appreciative of any and all kinds of feedback that there are. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I never know how it sounds. And, one thing may sound very clear to another, and then it may be a little bit harder for another to kind of digest. So I appreciate the wisdom and feedback. And I actually did get to check out a new tarot reader, which I'd never heard of. So thank you for suggesting Nordic Light. I actually was watching one of her pick-a-pile readings for the moon, and I got a lot of information from her channel. So I definitely recommend checking her out. And there are, and the other two that I'm actually familiar with is Kino and White Feather Tarot, and ASO too, and Charmed Intuition. Those are some of my most frequent, tarot watchers that I watch, or not tarot watchers, oh my goodness. But so let me go ahead and, I'm kind of working on, how do I want, the day of the week to kind of feel for y'all, so that way you are not hearing or receiving the exact same information over and over and over again. So that way we can kind of change it up and put more emphasis on other areas of your life. So if you want a day, and I'm actually throwing this out there for those that return to this channel, would you like the week ahead kind of spread up, where I can say on Mondays we're going to do some career work maybe, or inner child work, or shadow work, or picking a day to really emphasize what I want that reading to kind of like help adjust or make things just much more tangible for the listener, so that way you can go about on your journey. And I know it seems like I'm ranting, which I am. This is, I tend to write whatever I'm channeling, and that way I can give you all the information that I'm receiving and I don't lose it. That is one of my biggest things is losing a thought that may be very important for another. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this reading. Now, we're going to focus on, these are the crystal cards, and this crystal card is what really brought about the idea of an update that's going on. So we're going to talk about an update, what could potentially be blocking your ability to receive this download or this necessary software update for your body, and ways that you can overcome that block if you find that the signal is not as strong any longer. And then we're going to think about an affirmation we need to be telling ourselves when we notice that we're having issues, and if there's anything that may be blocking your divine masculine feminine energy. So you can work on that area of your life as well. And then we'll give a last parting wisdom from an animal pool, and then we're going to go from there. But I'm excited, guys, so let's dive into this. So this is Big Spite. Timing, action, change. Timing is everything. And with Big Spite, that couldn't be truer. Big Spite has an impeccable knack for the right timing and can encourage you to try new things, pursue an opportunity, or change anything that needs an update. Big Spite opens the connection between your base chakras and your heart chakra and infuses you with unconditional love for yourself and others. Big Spite encourages energy expressed as action, movement, and progression to move toward true alignment between you and your soul. Update what's outdated with joy and recharge your life. And then this is hematite, and hematite wanted to come out here to kind of like really help you ground this energy that is trying to create a lot of change in your life. So magnetic pull, focus. With a magnetism that is sky high, hematite has the ability to absorb negative emotions and create strong energetic boundaries. Its authoritarian force releases self-imposed limitations. A powerful stone to use in grounding oneself, hematite activates the root chakra and balances out the 7 chakras by pulling toxicity from your aura. Deriving from the Latin word for blood, hematite cleanses the blood in the body by promoting circulation and energizing the nervous system to begin anew. Use hematite when you need that extra boost. So here's what I'm feeling from today's collective. I mean, we are entering a state where spring is coming in, winter is leaving us, at least whenever this reading is being recorded. And there is a need to go ahead and start changing the direction of which you are, whatever mode you are in right now. Now, this could be something you were stuck in or found that you are. It's like you've got weight on your legs and it's preventing you from walking forward. And your guides are signaling this immediate change that has been causing a lot of resistance in your life. And they're wanting you to actually take action. Take this update and hold it in both of your hands. So that way you can see how divine timing is, and you'll be able to go, with the flow of things. You will be more magnetic, because hematite talked about this magnetism that's going on. And, notice when, this is making me think of things that may have metal in your life. And so this is an analogy that I'm trying to use here. Whatever is metal is attracted to you. That is what you are trying to bring in. So the more that you imagine what it is that you want to bring into your life by creating that positive mapping guide, that it's like I'm creating that step, that first initial step, and then I'm going to be I just imagine someone like Spider-Man just zooming into the next thing that was closest, the closest building to you, and then taking that next step to, that next closest building. But you're focusing on what is here and in front of you. Now, here is the update, and we have the 10 of Swords on its side. So this is breaking a cycle of constant thought patterns that no longer serve you. This is not allowing yourself to be up at night with all the things that are going on around you that are preventing you from getting a good night's sleep. So what is the update? This could be, finding time for when you want to spend, your eyeballs scrolling on your phone, or how you receive your information. Who do you want to receive it from? And it's like, if you were to hear it from a specific source, it would either raise your blood pressure or it would come in a calm state. It's like if the newspaper man were to throw a newspaper on your door and just yell about the news in front of you, you were kind of like, you're protecting your emotions by not letting another person's outburst or what they, the drama that they may have going on in their life really affect you in a negative way. This is, and this energy right here is not allowing yourself to associate with a fear specifically and letting that fear drive the rest of your mind. It's like, I don't know why I'm so fixated on trains just recently, but you are the conductor, you are the engineer, you are the one that is creating the railroad. And so imagine that you have all these different parts of, you all working in synchronicity with one another. And if one person has seen a block and they can no longer, make the road or use the necessary resources in order to continue this path, maybe it's because, hey, you've got your intuition kind of coming in here and letting you know that if we continue on this path, we are going to eventually, fall off the side of a cliff, or maybe we need to reroute where we're wanting our train to drive, or, think about what it is that you're carrying on this train. Is it, do you find that you're refueling your mind with too much coal or smoke and mirrors, illusions, anything that may be in your mind where if you are left alone for too long, it becomes very distorted and becomes a much bigger problem than it actually is. So you are updating on, what you are letting drive your thoughts. You are not thinking about the worst case scenario highway that's being built. You're actually putting a block on that highway so that way your nervous system can get a reset that it desperately needs. It's replacing each, negative emotion, negative thought with a positive one. And I want you to imagine, like, I'm seeing flies and honey and bees and all sorts of things that are around each other. And one is actually making the honey that you really enjoy. And then the other one is just eating the honey and not replacing it. So think about how your thoughts are replacing good thoughts, good constructive, what am I hearing? It's creating a highway. That's the one thing that's coming into my mind. But there's a highway that is being built in your mind, and it's getting an update. And where I live, we live near a highway that is always being constructed, always being worked on, and that is the only positive thing I have to say about that. Just because we're like right in the middle, so everyone drives in the middle of where we are. So, think of yourself as this highway that is constantly working on yourself. Take pride in that and acknowledge that, and create the bees that you want in order to make your mind a much sweeter place where you have a source of wisdom that is worth drinking in. And it's not just something that you share with just one person in your life or one or whoever you share, the wisdom that you wish you could, if someone were to give you advice and it's the right thing that gives you that mental breakthrough, give yourself permission to have a quiet night just for you and to not let, others come in and share their issues and their worry constantly with you. I feel like you need a break from all sources of however you get your information from, whether that be through a newspaper, on your phone, friends even can, spread that sense of impending doom. But, you deserve a quality night's sleep. And if you felt bad about wanting to change your whole bedroom's covers or your pillows, I'm encouraging you to do so. It puts you in the right mind state of, I've made my bed and now I actually do want to sleep in it. I actually want to feel the weight of my blankets and my covers on me. Update your lighting situation. So if you have those light bulbs that are really bright and you need something that's a little bit more dimmer so that way it doesn't, affect your, if you get headaches, I'm feeling a lot of different kinds of updates that are going on, but I feel like the best thing that is going on is where your mind is sitting. Is it actually in your body, or do you find that your mind is outside your body? But let me go ahead and look at what could potentially be a block here for you. So we have the Knight of Coins, which is in reverse. But the way I'm looking at this block is, if you're not someone that has self-discipline, or you find that when you try to commit to something, it becomes really hard, notice this about yourself and think about ways that would make you reminded of what it is that you are focused on, that you are working towards. So if you're wanting a clearer mental state that is in a much more healthy position, then it's practicing where we put our thoughts and how we protect our mind and create a barrier, so that way we don't just like accept everything that is coming in. But having a schedule or a routine will help you with this, and thinking about what you are eating, even because, the pinnacles can talk about your body. So what does your body need? And if you're someone that tends to forget to eat in the morning, or you're always in a rush, if you know this is something that is it's a reoccurring theme, then before you go to bed at night, maybe even set out a bowl and a spoon, or whatever you eat for breakfast, already have it on the counter ready for you, so that way you don't neglect it. Or if you find that you're always on you're rushing through things, and you're not actually thinking through, what your body needs, because you're thinking about everything else, like that is one way to do that, is give your body permission to take care of it, and like put the noise chatter aside. Maybe even keep your phone away from your kitchen table, or anything that may give you a reminder to, when you find that you're bored, what do you do when you're bored? It's like, do you eat when you're bored? That is something that I used to struggle with quite often, is just not having something to put my mind to focus on. Exercise schedule, actually giving your body the ability to move. If you're someone that tends to work at a desk, or that you don't get up and move around as much, that would be another thing that would be good for these anxious thoughts. Give your mind and body a different environment, going on walks, meditating, but scheduling yourself in is crucial. Actually put it on the schedule, like actually plan a day where you are just spending time, weeding the garden, creating the flowers that you actually want to look at and appreciate. And when you find that you're doing a routine and it's just starting to ground, or grind is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I'm having a difficult time. And I don't know if it's because of this Nine of Swords energy that's here, but it's like, that self-discipline that's coming through. Having self-discipline, staying committed to creating the right. Honestly, I feel like you need to imagine yourself having like airplanes where they have like the metal detector, and the only way you are allowed to come inside this airplane where you can fly to wherever you want to go, you have to first check any kind of baggage at the door that does not need to be traveling with you, so that way you have the right state of mind. But another thing that could be blocking you from feeling this is perfectionism. You want to be perfect at something. You want to be the best of the best the first time you try something new, or the need to constantly have everything, all your ducks in a row, and nothing being, how do I say this? Where someone doesn't come in and change the plan for you. It's like being flexible and open to when routines need to change, because there are external factors that are going around you. So that could be a block that is preventing this update, is needing to feel perfect. But you're perfect already, guys. At least we're going to make sure you feel like you are perfect, that you can navigate your thoughts. That's a good affirmation to tell yourself. I am perfect as I am, and even when I make a mistake, I am learning as I go. The thing that can really help you with this situation that is blocking is we have the Three of Coins in reverse. Open up and communicate with those that are around you when you need to take some time to let something relieve itself off your chest. If you've been holding your words back, or if you notice that everyone in your, this makes me think of a work situation. This can even talk about a relationship situation where everyone has an idea of how things should go, but no one is on the same page. Or there can even be this sense of feeling of, because this Knight of Coins cares a lot about the project being perfect, or making sure that all the details are explained well, or I can see this being the person that is the leader of the program or the situation even, and it's like, how do I get on the same page as them? And you may be picking it up that others are, they have their own skill set, and it's not the same as like this Knight of Coins energy that already has this wealth of information, wealth of experience, and has the ability to create this beautiful flower, but it's only one flower. So it's like when you are focused on one thing, you create this beautiful display. But because perfectionism had gotten in the way, it held a lot of things up that had the potential to, Spirit's kind of like showing me something. Anytime you have an agenda or a goal that requires more individuals to participate and be a part of this, share the information that you are getting with them rather than expecting them to already know what their job entails. And it could be you need a sense of clarity even when you are on a project. What is my role in this? And how am I supposed to communicate when I am done? Or if I have questions about the project that I am on, how do I communicate that with you or another person? And that way you already know how the energy is supposed to be deviled out. Deviled out? I don't think that's a word. Divvied out? Is that the word? How the work is divvied out, divided. I'm sorry, it's taking me a minute to get there. But how is it divided? Are you able to use your skills effectively for the job? Or do you find that the thing that you were hired for is no longer, like, you're not able to use your expertise, and that can be frustrating? And maybe you see that there's someone that is lacking in the field that they're working in, but that's what you're skilled in. So being open to communicate in a respectful way that can bring collaboration where others are working in harmony with one another, because the Three of Coins in reverse talks about this disharmony that you may be experiencing, which is causing this Nine of Swords to come through. Like, am I not good enough? Why can't they just acknowledge that I have this skill? And they may not even know that you have this skill, or maybe it was just something that wasn't displayed out loud, or because there's this light that I'm looking at over my candle. It's like, But share and listen and value another's opinion. Renegotiate timelines or the resources that I was talking about, and the amount of energy that you need to put into an objective of some sort, and make sure there is a clear view, like you can actually see the end goal of what it is that you're trying to build. But I will say the key to this being successful, so that way you can have this update, is seeing what each and every person brings to the table and acknowledges them. And if you find that you're struggling, then ask for help rather than waiting for someone to be able to read your mind. it's like you have all the words in your head, but it's like everything is screaming at you not to say anything that they're going to tell you that what you're working on is not good enough. And your guides are really coming through to say, let's work on this. Let's give you that update so that way everyone's working together. Everyone has a sense of respect for one another, and everyone has a specific goal that, tunes to their, what their skill set is. Then this card over here is the outcome of the update that the guides are trying to bring in, or it's like they're wanting to kind of like showcase here, like this is the update, but this is the outcome of that update that they're hoping for. Now we have the King of Swords in reverse. Now, not a negative update. It's your guides are not going to bring you something negative for something that should be positive. I just want to clarify that. So you're going to notice that you do have a lot to contribute. Even if you are uncertain about the future, the present version of you is enough. And you're going to discover how much magic, how much power and authority that you have and where it comes from. And it truly, this quiet power that you have comes from within. So you're going to develop a strong belief in yourself. You're going to stand in your truth and only focus on what truly matters to you, and not let your ego run the show, or let another person let their ego run the show. You're not going to let others manipulate or misuse their title or their power on you, where they flash their name badge and you're like, why am I doing this? And they're like, because I told you to. You're going to say, no, I need to understand why I am doing this job when I was hired for a specific task. Or even you put me in a group who does not understand what our job is, and I do not understand what my job is, or what my role is in this relationship, or my role is, this is making me think, what is my role in the big scheme of things? It's like you're actually standing your ground and you've got your best poker face on, and inside you may feeling these like emotional stares of like, I can't believe we're doing this, but your guides are saying, yes, you are doing this. You're standing your ground, so that way you have a clear idea of where you need to go. You want to know what is expected of you. And if they don't put the standards out there and then they get on to you for not following a standard, then that's a problem. And it doesn't create a fair and equal workplace. I don't know why I keep staying on workplace, but like in your relationship field, it's like, what are your roles at home? How does each one contribute to make this home stable, have a wall, have a roof, and, a sense of purpose that everyone is working towards? The other thing that is going to come from this is not letting other people's words cut you with your own sword. It's like you are not handing them the right things to say to you to wound you. If you are putting yourself out there into the world, and it's like, what is one thing that you find? It's like working through your shadows is one thing that I will say. Working through your shadows and knowing what makes you tick. When you notice what makes you tick as an individual, makes you frustrated, makes you very angry or emotional, or that you need to work by yourself, noticing what makes you tick, so that way you can say, all right, guys, here's what I don't put up with. I don't put up with people not following directions, because I feel like directions is a big thing here, because I've got this highway in my mind that I'm still playing with. And like, this is your job. This is why this is your job. This is why this is someone else's job. It's like making sure everybody understands that we all have something that we need to contribute to today. And it's just like before people have gotten away with something. I don't know why. It would not surprise me if this is something that I'm channeling from my sister. We just talked about this energy. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you. So, for my hard workers in warehouse, I'm sending you the most amount of love that I can possibly give you, because I feel like y'all are misrepresented and no one understands how hard y'all work. But I was hoping to get this reading for not just a work related reading, but also, you can take this advice for your relationship even. Like, because everyone needs to be able to work together and be able to speak and communicate without worrying about where is the next meal going to be? Where is my paycheck going? Where is, the most frustration going on in my life? But this is what's being updated. I'm picking up a lot of different types of thoughts going through here. Am I enough? Am I good enough? Can I actually commit to this? Can I effectively lead a group? If I'm taking on a new career or a role in my life, how can I be a leader of that new version of myself? But you're not letting worry prevent you from making a decision. The King of Swords in reverse with the Nine of Swords, it's like, I want to be able to lead, but how do I lead? How do I go about this? And that's where we are changing. We're changing your thought patterns so that way you can be a leader and make clear decisions for you and the group. The affirmation that is going to help you with this update is remembering how strong you are with each day that comes. The further you move away from something that could be embarrassing in your life, because that's another thing I'm picking up on. If you're someone that gets embarrassed easily or has a hard time taking, it's like, I trust this bird. I'll trust this bird to tell me what direction I need to go because I don't trust people. It's like I am strong, and I'm strong because I'm going to be clear with myself. Give yourself reasons why you are strong. Your self-care, self-love oracle is text a friend and let them know you're thinking of them. And I actually did kind of pick up on that as well. It's like I see there was a group of people that were working together on something, and somehow, one way or another, it's like a question of who is in charge was put there. And then I'm seeing these two friends. Now there's a group of friends that I'm thinking of, but I'm seeing two friends. They're going about things in a much more different way. And this person has a wall behind them, and it's like everyone's trying to communicate with this friend, but they're kind of like working on themselves. So text a friend and let them know that you're thinking of them, so that way you can break the ice, maybe open up the communication, be like, hey, I understand that things did not work. Maybe you had a plan of going out with each other, but something didn't fit the bill, or you weren't able to because you had a lot going on in your life. But open up and let them know that, you're thinking of them, and you want to figure out how to, open up that communication, or even let them know, hey, I'm currently working on something in my life right now. Can you help me, be a friend, be there for me? Because I am seeing someone that's willing to come in and fight anything and everything for you. That is what I'm feeling. The divine masculine and feminine oracle is, why do you want to walk away and not work it out? That could be a shadow aspect that is trying to come through. Is, do you find when things, like if you're trying to perfect something in the instant that it doesn't look good, you throw it away altogether. And, it's hard for others to come in if they feel like the instant something goes wrong, everything is now off the table. So this is what you can use as a journal entry of why do you want to walk away and not work it out. And then maybe let's change this into why would you want to walk towards this person and work it out? See the positive when you're trying to get rid of negativity in your life. Try to replace it with something that can be positive. The Moonology that is coming through is nothing is yet set in stone. So this update of helping you work through your fears and anxiety and anything that creates these cyclic thought patterns only will be able to be broken apart by not letting them have a place to stand in your life, if that makes sense. So if it's in the future, it's in the future. There's going to be so many different possibilities out there for you. But nothing is yet set in stone. But the more that you put a stone or a stepping tool in order to move you forward, that's when the waves will stop feeling as if they're being pulled by the moon even. Like, imagine this is your emotions, and your emotions are dictating how you think and how you act accordingly in life. And the more that you release whatever you're trying to control or prevent, because when you're having these nightmares and these dreams that are reoccurring and it's making you worried about stepping out of your door, think about what would help you step out of the door. What would help you walk out, back into a career or back into the things that make you driven, that make you feel positive. Recreate those kind of situations that bring you hope and clarity. And then the last thing we have is animal wisdom. So we have elk, nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. So treat yourself as if you are nobility, that you do have something to contribute, that if you sense that there is a power play scheme going on around you, where it's making you wonder, what is my worth? They keep questioning my worth. And then now we're going to set those boundaries and say, I am just as noble as you are. Just because I may be the gardener does not mean that you are the dictator. And they're the ones that probably have the best tool to be gardening. And if they want what it is that you're doing, then maybe they should have fought for that role a little bit harder. If this brings you pleasure and it brings you happiness to stay in this, others should not be able to make you feel bad for the things that you do enjoy doing. But guys, that is your reading. So the update that's here is you're controlling your thoughts and not letting them run your life. And you are focusing on the right timing and what it is that you need to change in your life, so that way you can feel that magnetic pull that you're wanting towards the great things that are coming for you. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I know I didn't say it, but if today was your birthday, because I went off into a different world this morning, but happy birthday. And I'm glad you're here. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you working on your thoughts and who it is that is in control of the railroad or where it is you are flying to. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here.